State of the nation, and we now turn the radar at what's happening in Nigeria's south region, Edo State precisely. It's no longer news. The governorship election there has been postponed, and we're now focusing on the aftermath of that development. The debate is on and everyone is talking. The opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, is upset with the postponement, describing it as an attack on democracy. On the other hand, the ruling party, the APC, seems fine with that development. Joining me now in the studio to flesh out this issue is Mr. Tokunbo Odutola, a legal practitioner and public affairs analyst. Thank you very much for joining us on State of the Nation.
Thank you very much.
Now, let's take a look at the timeline of the situation in Edo State. First, a few days ago, the INEC said that it was not going to change its stance on postponing the election and that it was going to go ahead with the election. And then everybody hoped that that was going to happen. And he said, quote, "We will not be teleguided." And all of a sudden, they had a twist on us. They turned around on us. And now we're hearing that, oh, we now understand why we should consider the excuse given by the police as well as the DSS that there is a security threat in the nation. Do you feel that INEC was muscled into making that decision?
Well, if we want to look at it critically, you want to look at it from the legal angle and you want to look at it from the political angle.
Tell me about it.
The legal angle, the Electoral Act allows them to postpone elections subject to the situation on ground. If there's a security risk or there is a cogent and verifiable reason, you have a right to postpone that election. It's quite unfortunate, but the INEC now hindering on the security risk gives them a safe landing. The other party might look at it from the aspect of the political angle. Because the political angle, you might say, oh, it's because either you are afraid or you feel threatened. That's why you feel that you should postpone. However, I personally believe that the security reason that been given by the security agencies is enough for postponement. But what I'll now ask myself is, that threat that is there, was that threat not there when the president visited the country? Unfortunately, it's also a slap on the security agencies in Nigeria. But by and large, once there's a legal provision that allows for postponement, there's no way you want to go around it again.
Yeah, I get your point. And know that for any right-thinking Nigerian, when the police and the security forces come out and they give us a joint statement saying that's the DSS and the police come out to say, look, we have intelligence that it's not going to be safe at this time holding that election, and they gave a couple of reasons. It seems sensible. But in this case, we're talking about the feeling of stakeholders in this case. Many civil society groups have condemned the action. Even another stakeholder, that's the opposition, the People's Democratic Party, have said, no, this is not good for our democracy. And that brings on the feeling of animosity, or a feeling that this is not going to be a fair process. What impact that kind of feeling, what kind of impact would it have on the election if eventually and when eventually it holds?
There's been a precedent of a postponement in this country before. We felt agitated that way too. However, the long end result, we applauded INEC. I want us to give them a chance. If it's intelligence report, I'm not part of the intelligence.
Remember, in this case, it was not the idea of INEC.
But it was an intelligence report that came up that it's not going to be safe. If we're going to look at it from the moral angle, you could say, oh, no, this is wrong, this is condemnable. I agree with you. But once there's a legal way out, their hands are tied. If elections go on that day and there's crisis, definitely we return to court. parties use that as an avenue to get the results nullified. So why don't you just keep your calm, keep your peace, and keep your powders dry?
We've had situations in this country where there was a massive, incredible build-up to a particular election. We saw it in the last elections when a lot of people were anticipating the elections. They wanted to participate in the elections, and bam, there was a postponement. And that, in some places, resulted in voter apathy. Do we see that happening in Edo State?
I don't really see that happening in Edo State. From my own little observation and research study on Edo politics and election, it's a dicey ground. That is the painful truth. It could work for, it could work against. It depends on how both machineries or both parties use their machinery. It could work against in that, oh, you people think you're smart, you're wise, because you hold the federal power, you want to terrorize us, you want to show us your color, we will show you our own side.
All right, Mr. Tokunboh Odutola, a legal practitioner, thank you very much for coming on State of the Nation.